I'm Allison, and this is Kicking Cancer to the Curb. I'd like to share some wows with you, which are words of wisdom that I learned when I went through my experience with colorectal cancer. I want to talk to you about surgeons, doctors, and nurses. It took me a while to figure out which surgeon that I wanted to use. I ended up interviewing a meeting with 7 different surgeons. When you first are diagnosed, usually whoever that was who diagnosed you, what doctor it was, could be any different kind of doctor based on what cancer you have. They usually refer you to a surgeon. That doesn't mean you have to go to that surgeon. If you like the surgeon and you feel comfortable and you've done some research on them and you believe them to be a good surgeon, then go with that. But if you don't have a good feeling, or you don't connect, or if there's just something inside of your head that's like not right, you don't have to go with that surgeon. You can interview other surgeons until you find one that fits you. I ended up going with Dr. Sack at UCLA, but all of my treatment was done at Cedars. So I even went to a different hospital. They're great surgeons everywhere. I just want you to know that you do have a choice. Now, as far as doctors go, your oncologist, for instance, it's the same thing. I had 2 oncologists. My first one, I really liked her, and we started my radiation and chemo. I got really, really sick. I ended up in the hospital. After that, I didn't feel as comfortable anymore, and so I switched, and I went to a different oncologist who I worked with on a better level. I was more able to process the chemotherapy and get through it, whereas before, it was much more difficult for me. And that also comes from you speaking up. I mean, you have to tell your doctor how you're feeling, what you need. If you're in a lot of pain and the pain medication isn't working, call them. They will help you. They will help you find the right pain medication. If you're nauseous and medication that they're giving you is not working, call them. They will get back to you. That's what they're there for. You have to be an advocate for your own health. Nurses, same thing. There are good nurses, there are bad nurses, just like doctors and surgeons. Some of them you connect with, some of them you don't. I had a nurse my first time in the hospital who, it was literally right after my surgery, and she left my emergency button behind me. I mean, behind my bed. So if there was an emergency, I wouldn't be able to call her, and I couldn't really yell because, yelling can often be very painful right after surgery. So divine intervention happened, and I had a card from the hospital on my little tray. I don't know how it got there or why it got there, but it was there, and it was the hospital number. So I picked it up, I called the front desk. I said, hey, I'm in this room, I'm this patient, and I cannot reach my emergency call button. Not good. The same nurse was supposed to give me a sponge bath. This was like the next week, the week after this. She never did. I never asked her because, you're so out of it. I was so out of it. And the 2 things that I asked her to do, she didn't do. They were just small things. I'm not a high maintenance patient. Actually, I'm very low maintenance. And I did not feel comfortable asking her for anything or calling on her. So when the head nurse came around, she asked me how everything was going, and I just said, very politely, and just, spoke from my heart, and told her that I didn't feel really comfortable with this nurse. My life could have been in danger because I couldn't reach the button. And then just asking her to do I felt like I was bothering her. Nurses have lives. Maybe something was bothering her, I don't know. But we need them to be present when we are so vulnerable. So that's what I want to share with you about surgeons, doctors, and nurses. I have been very, very blessed by having the best surgeons and doctors and nurses around me. And part of that was because I made an effort. You have to make an effort. So go out and meet the people that you want to help you heal, and do your research and make sure that you have a connection. Don't be afraid to call your doctor. Don't be uncomfortable. Don't feel like you're bothering them. That's their job. That's what they're there to do. And personally, I like to have a doctor that I connect with, a doctor that might be a little bit fun. Except my surgeon. He's fun, but he's very serious. And he felt like a father figure to me, and I just really connected with him. And my oncologist, Dr. Decker, he's amazing, and I love him. I mean, we had fun while I went through the process of chemo. Not that chemo was fun, but we still found ways to laugh. And you know, nurses, I have my favorite nurses, and they know that, and I appreciate everybody's help and professionalism and love and support. And I want you to have the same experience, because getting through cancer, as you know, can be very, very difficult. All right, stay healthy and wealthy. WELLV. I'll talk to you soon.